The CDC has released a new method to prevent the further spread of the virus. Stay tuned with us to find out everything you need to know.
The campus prepares to open back up for campus life, but vaccines will not be part of the picture.
A group of high school students is doing its part in the community by helping the homeless. Update News starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Mickey Adams.
And I'm Veronica Vinlawan. The Centers for Disease Control now says people who have been fully vaccinated and have waited 2 weeks can gather with other fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing masks. It's a major breakthrough for those who have been waiting to hug friends and family, but at the same time, there's also a new recommendation to wear double masks. Kenya Caballero is live in San Jose with more information. Kenya?
Veronica, the CDC now says that wearing a cloth mask over a surgical mask offers better protections against the coronavirus.
Except for people who are fully vaccinated, the CDC is now recommending the use of 2 face masks based on the results from new studies.
They had one type of cloth mask, one type of surgical mask, and alone those were like 55% effective, but combined, like high 80s, early 90s, so much more effective.
If you're thinking of double masking, let me go over some quick steps. First, you should check that your surgical mask has a nose wire. This will prevent air from leaking out of the top of your mask. You must bend the nose wire over your nose to fit close to your face. Second, use a mask fitter or a brace. Now check if it has a good fit. For this, you'll have to check that no air is flowing from the area near your eyes or from the side of the mask. Third, you can now add your extra layer. Use a cloth mask that has multiple layers of fabric. Lastly, make sure that you can see and breathe easily, and do not add an extra face mask on an N95.
This does not mean you have to wear a double face mask. This is just one of the options that people can do to protect themselves.
The important goal is having a well-fitting mask. If you have all these gaps around your mask, it's not going to really be as effective as if you had a mask that was snug around your nose, cheeks, and chin.
Luisa Ayala agrees with the decision of the CDC.
I think it's a very wise decision that people start to double face mask compared to just having one, mainly because there's a new strand and it's more contagious.
Mario Avalo says he implemented these steps to better protect himself.
Well, I have 2 babies at home and I don't want to put them at risk. I make sure to wear my double mask as soon as I leave the house, just to, be precautious.
The truth is that no one wants to put their loved ones at risk. The easiest method to avoid coming in contact with the virus is to socially distance ourselves, wear a well-fitted mask when running errands, and only interact with people in your household.
The CDC continuing to recommend that fully vaccinated people continue to wear a well-fitted mask when out in public. Live in San Jose, Kenya Caballero, Update News.
In a recent letter from President Papazian, the possibility that the campus might become a COVID vaccination site was shut down. The reason cited for this was that this campus's location was not best positioned to achieve their goals for the site. However, when one door closes, a window opens. In that same letter, Papazian announced the return of indoor dining and gymnasiums on campus. The SRAC Center will reopen on March 15th with 10% capacity in line with other gyms in the county. A reservation system will be put in place to limit traffic as it was before the facility closed in December. The dining commons will also begin offering indoor dining at 25% capacity on March 22nd.
Probably people will be getting together more, if I'm being honest, and being a little bit more social, if that's for better or for worse.
Despite these openings, the university continues to urge students and staff to adhere to COVID-19 safety protocol and to get vaccinated when it's your turn.
San Jose has seen a huge surge in the number of homeless residents. A group of high school students is trying to help. Shiri Marwaha is live in Cupertino with details.
Veronica, Santa Clara County officials estimate 30,000 people could be homeless in just 5 years. So the high school students who are trying to help have their work cut out for them.
The social media video shot by members of Hope for the Homeless shows them sanitizing and packing food into kits. Taylor Hall started the group as a club at Burnham High School in 2019.
For the homeless, we started out as a club at our high school, but then throughout the summer and stuff, we morphed into more of a community organization.
Soon, students from other high schools joined in, and the group grew to a number of 20.
We just help out homeless folks in mostly South San Jose as of right now.
The grassroots organization San Jose Strong is also pitching in.
They also are trying to bring like more awareness so other younger folks are aware, like, hey, this is going on.
Hope for the Homeless raises funds for their basic needs.
To help them, for a while, we were doing like in-person donations, like drives to take food or just essentials and stuff like that.
Organizers say the government is taking measures to feed and house the homeless, but that's not enough.
If the communities aren't really being served by the government, right, or other collectives that are bigger, like nonprofits that are there, it's kind of like the rest of the people are like, well, we have to kind of fill this void because it's a need.
On any given night in Santa Clara County, there are about 1,000 people sleeping on the streets, according to the group peopleassistingthehomeless.org.
They love getting the recognition of that they're people, and they're not just beings on the side of a road.
Hall wants to continue to serve the homeless through her organization and help from the community.
So I think as long as I have people who are willing to like support me and help me out with it, I want to keep it going for as long as I possibly can.
The youth-led organization is helping the neglected section of the society by raising funds and distributing help packages on a regular basis. Live in Cupertino, Shiri Marba, her Update News.
Stick around and we'll have more news for you when we return.
And we'll have Joshua Gilman with the weather.
The Air Force is becoming more laxed on women's hairstyles.
It's great to have that choice.
COVID-19 and its effects on dogs. More on that coming up.
The U.S. Air Force has eased their standards for their airmen's appearances, something that has been unchanged for decades before. A welcome change for the women within the armed services whose responsibilities are now ever so slightly lightened. Julia Cody has the story.
February 10th marks the day that Air Force dress and personal appearance standards have been updated for female airmen. It's the first time since the late 1940s that the looks have changed.
It's great to have that choice.
First concern was for safety because we are in an inherently dangerous situation pretty much all the time.
Female airmen are now allowed more hairstyles, embracing diverse hair types while preventing alopecia and migraines.
A lot of women said that their hair being pulled back tightly caused alopecia, which is hair loss.
Wearing necessary headgear such as helmets and gas masks will also be easier.
I still have to push it down even farther, and it's a real huge pain. I literally have to smash it down.
The new standards allow women to wear their hair in a ponytail, braids, locks, twists, and cornrows within regulations. Also, bangs can now touch eyebrows.
It's a little bit different in the maintenance world though. I do have mine up in a bun. I don't want it to get caught on anything.
For Colonel Erin Cook, this change means improving her hair routine, a change other airmen have also expressed.
And I was one of those women who got severe headaches from having my hair tight. And so I was just thrilled to know that I could wear it a little bit looser and that it wouldn't be out of regs anymore.
I could just pull down my ponytail a little bit and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It wouldn't hurt at all.
This change in standards may seem small, but women make up more than 21% of the Air Force, and for them, this change is monumental. Airmen from Travis Air Force Base, California to Moody Air Force Base, Georgia, all recognize this progressive change as one of many to come. In Fairfield, Julia Cody, Update News.
The pandemic has had its fair share of changes, and among them are its effects on dogs. Due to COVID, it's become a national phenomenon that many people are experiencing having a severely attached canine companion.
There is a new term circulating among new pet owners and shelters called the COVID dog. It refers to dogs that were adopted or raised during the pandemic. Their most noticeable quality is that they have separation anxiety. Markel Gomez is a first-time dog owner. She's had her Maltese poodle mix puppy Buko for 7 months.
If I start getting ready, he'll get sad and he'll start crying if he'll see me walk out the door or anything, or get ready in general.
Having dogs stay home and not be able to interact with society hinders their imprinting process. When they don't have enough exposure outside of their own homes to other dogs or people, this can cause behavioral issues. Some signs that a dog is distressed are excessive whining, destructive chewing, and scratching at doors to desperately reunite with their owners.
Sit. Sit down. Sit.
Camille Faustino has been around dogs her whole life. She says having her COVID German Shepherd Blaze limits what she can do in her daily life.
We kind of have a harder time like going out and doing things without him. We kind of have to take him everywhere we go.
And with the world working its way up to opening up again, Blaze's separation anxiety could spike. If you're a dog owner that knows you'll be returning back to work within the next few weeks, the Veterinary Centers of America encourages you to start preparing your pet. Melanie Sobel is General Manager of Santa Cruz County Animal Shelter. She says, it's especially important to prepare puppies who have spent most of their young lives secluded in their own homes.
You know, people aren't out and is social enough, so their animals are not getting out and being socialized.
Dogs who were acquired long before the pandemic are less likely to have or develop separation anxiety from their owners. They also won't have the same fear or behavioral issues when their owners allow for them to be social with other people and dogs again.
That if a dog was exposed to all that before and comfortable, and then COVID happened, they would be fine because they already had those skills and socialization set in.
If you notice your dog showing any signs of separation anxiety, contact your veterinarian to find out ways you can help. Now we have student meteorologist Joshua Gilman with the latest updates on weather and the rain from this week.
It was awesome to see Northern California finally receive some rain this week, especially during this dry La Nina season. Here are some of the rainfall totals from the Bay Area. In San Francisco, they received about 0.39 inches of rain, and in San Jose, they received about 0.42 inches. Santa Cruz received 0.52, and Oakland received the most amount of rainfall with 0.63 inches of rain. Next week is looking milder overall, with partly cloudy skies across the Bay Area. There will be a slight chance of showers on Sunday and Monday, but probably not much. Now, for the 5-day forecast, starting in Santa Cruz, the high temperatures are going to be similar to last week, with the range in the upper 50s and low 60s, and the lows will be in the upper 30s. In San Francisco, the highs are going to be mainly in the low 60s, and currently the lows will be consistent in the mid 40s. And there is a 40% chance of showers on Sunday, but total rainfall amounts, if any, will be small. Now, in Oakland, the extreme temperatures will be very similar, with highs in the low 60s and lows in the mid 40s. Lastly, in San Jose, the high temperatures are mainly going to be in the low to mid 60s, and lows will be in the upper 30s, with the coldest night being on Monday at 38 degrees. Sunday is looking like the only day of some rain, currently at a 40% chance of showers. That's the weather scoop for now, and enjoy these last few weeks of California's winter season.
When we come back, we'll have Ivan Garcia with sports.
And a look at the week ahead. Update news will be back in 60 seconds.
The Oakland Coliseum come April, but only to California residents. That and more when Update News returns.
At San Jose State University,
we discover who we want to be. For ourselves,
for our families,
for our communities.
Different and unexpected.
Begin here.
At the heart of a transforming valley, in a city that is tough and beautiful.
We are Spartans.
What powers us changes our world.
Now we have Ivan Garcia here with sports. Ivan, how excited are we that baseball season is here?
So excited. I'm ready to head out and go to those games because baseball will have fans, with restrictions, of course. The Oakland A's are hosting fans starting April 1st with limited capacity, but with these restrictions. 20% capacity to start. This will increase as the county lowers in tiers. Physically distanced seating, no tailgating, face coverings, tickets sold only to California residents, mobile-only tickets, cashless transaction, including purchases in the ballpark, ordering concessions through the mobile app, and $30 for parking. The San Francisco Giants are also planning on having fans for their home opener on April 9th, but it is unsure what their restrictions will be. Most likely they will be the same or close to what the A's are doing. The Oakland A's are introducing a new form of tickets called Flex Ticks. Flex Ticks are vouchers that can be redeemed for any regular season game. The A's will also have their normal single game tickets that go on sale March 23rd. The Dallas Cowboys re-signed Dak Prescott to a 4-year, $160 million deal. The deal also has a no-trade clause and a no-tag clause. No-trade clause means the player cannot be traded unless the player approves. This also means the Cowboys cannot use their franchise tag on Prescott. Franchise tag means the team will pay the average salary of that position to the player for 1 year, which Prescott previously played on before suffering a dislocation and compound fracture on his right ankle. The All-Star break took place this past weekend and Team LeBron took the win over Team Durant with the final score of 170 to 150. Team LeBron had the higher score at the end of every quarter, which means Team LeBron earned a total of $750,000 for the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Giannis Antetokounmpo won the All-Star Game MVP with a perfect 16 from 16 from the field. But before the game started, Warriors' own Stephen Curry won his second three-point contest with his last shot, beating Utah's Mike Conley. Speaking of basketball, March Madness starts this weekend with Selection Sunday taking place at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, March 14th on CBS. The NCAA canceled March Madness last year, but hopes to have all 67 games played to determine who will be the winning team that cuts off the net from the hoop. A tradition throughout NCAA basketball, but more meaningful when you win the last game of the season. Hopefully, everything goes well with these vaccines and more fans are able to go out and enjoy the games.
Are you rooting for any baseball teams this season, Ivan?
I don't want to be biased, but I am an A's fan, so hopefully they're able to go past the wild card this year.
Okay, that's great to hear. Thanks, Ivan. And finally today, we may be still stuck at home on Zoom, but it doesn't mean we have to be bored. Here's a look at some events in the week ahead.
Join this three-part series on eating and cooking in the U.S. starting March 12th at 12 p.m.
Join Counseling and Psychological Services on March 16th at 10 a.m. for a discussion on managing anxiety and stress.
And the Hammer Theater is presenting an opportunity to gather virtually on March 13th at 11 a.m. for people who write letters to healthcare workers, patients fighting the disease, and isolated seniors in the community. You can find more information on all these events by visiting events.sjsu.edu.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thank you for joining us, and see you next week.